Now, I know a lot of us, including myself, maybe not everyone watching this now, but a lot of us, we get up in the morning, the first thing we do is we turn our alarm off. What do? We sit on our phone, we lie in bed, and we scroll through TikTok, we scroll through Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. What I'm going to go through with you guys today is 5 things or 5 habits that I want to start getting rid of, and 5 new ones that I want to incorporate into my daily life to help just improve my brain function throughout the day, increase energy, productivity, all that good stuff. So let's get straight into the video. So first thing that I want to change or take out of my daily routine, and that is in the mornings, getting up, turning that alarm off, and then scrolling through social media. Not to say that it's bad for you, but the first thing we do when we get out of bed, or the first thing we do when we're lying in bed and we wake up in the morning, we're getting that blue light into our eyes, which for starters probably isn't ideal. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is scrolling through social media platforms where, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it might be for you. We're setting ourselves up for failure. We're seeing all that fancy stuff online where basically this person's on a yacht, this person's living their best life, whereas we're getting up out of bed most of the time. We're going to work, and basically what that's doing for us is mentally it's setting ourselves up for a crap day or a shit day, because that's not the ideal life we want to be living. So that's the first thing I want to change. I'm going to stop doing that, and I want to replace that with basically getting up out of bed, turning that alarm off, hydrating myself for starters, and just reading for 15 to 20 minutes. And you might be thinking, yes, my brain's in sleep mode, I can't read in the morning. True, I'm thinking that too, but it's something I'm going to try. Something I'm going to replace that morning routine with is just reading, hopefully setting myself up for a more productive day in the morning, giving myself more energy, more like a clear head throughout the day, especially in that morning, rather than taking the first 2 or 3 hours to get going, and see how that makes a difference in my life. So, second thing that I want to change is actually the opposite end, the opposite spectrum, and that's me at night. So I'm trying to get to bed early, so not staying up super late. And in conjunction with this, when you do go to bed, not staying up until 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12, whatever it might be for you, and sitting on your phone, and then again scrolling through that Instagram, Facebook, all that sort of garbage crap before bed. As everyone knows by now, basically scrolling through your phone with that bright light, that blue light, it's not going to help your brain get yourself ready for bed, ready for sleep. So basically for me, what I'm going to change this for my second healthy habit that I want to change is half an hour before bed, lights are dimmed, lights are either off or dimmed. And I'm going to probably try and start reading again for whether that's 15, 20 minutes before bed, and obviously getting yourself ready for bed, like brushing your teeth and stuff like that. Things that can also help, with helping setting your circadian rhythm or getting you to sleep, there's things like in the morning, especially getting that morning sunlight to help restart your clock, get yourself ready to go, and that way at the end of the day when the sun does start to set, your body's ready to, your body can realize that it's ready to it's going dark, it's time to get ready, you're getting tired, you'll start to feel tired because the sun does start to come down, and you're ready for bed. And another thing on top of that, if you really wanted to try and really set the standard high for yourself, is getting that afternoon sun, so that sunset especially, and that's another thing that can help setting that circadian rhythm and getting yourself ready for bed. So the third thing, which I'm going to try and incorporate into my day, not really a habit that I want to try and break, but it's the third thing I want to try and incorporate and start doing in my 5 habits I'm going to change, is getting some hot and cold exposure into each day. I know the research isn't super strong regarding hot and cold exposure, but it's something I want to try. I've done a sauna before at my gym, and usually after the sauna you actually feel really great afterwards. You feel relaxed, you feel quite, your muscles feel quite relaxed after a big workout especially. And the other thing I want to try and do is more cold exposure, so whether that's ice baths or having a cold shower in the morning or nighttime. The research is saying, if you can get up to 15 minutes throughout the week, so spacing that out to 2-3 minutes per day of cold exposure, that's ideal. Helps to reduce inflammation in like the joints, muscles, all that sort of stuff, helps you relax, helps to increase your tolerance to stress as well. So even when you are having those stressful days, you build that resilience, that mental toughness as well. The way I'm going to do this is I'm basically going to just, whether it's buying a bag of ice or 2 a couple of times a week, filling up the bath with cold water, chucking in some ice and just sitting there for 5-10 minutes and just doing that a couple times a week. and just want to see how I feel. I've previously actually done cold showers. I did it for about 2 or 3 weeks towards the end of summer. But now that the weather's starting to cool down again, it makes it a little bit harder, and I've sort of dropped off on that, not going to lie. So that's something I really want to do, because I do feel good afterwards. So I want to try and incorporate both of those into my weekly routines, and I think it's something that's just going to help just overall with general health. Fourth thing that I want to try and change now is now that I've sort of gotten I've started tracking my protein quite regularly, and I'm sort of hitting my goals in that. The next thing I want to try and track is I want to start using the app more, which is the MyFitnessPal app or Macro Factor, one of the two. And I want to try and start tracking my carbs and my fats as well. Not gonna lie, my diet isn't always amazing, but I'm hitting my protein each day, which is probably the main thing for me, which was the main thing for me for the last sort of 2 or 3 months. But now that I've sort of been consistent with that, I really want to hone down and really get into like the carbs, fats, even fibers, macro, micronutrients, all that sort of good stuff, and really focus on that. So that's my fourth thing that I really want to focus on now. And here we are to wrap up the video. The fifth and final thing that I especially, and probably you guys as well, need to stop doing, and that is just snacking throughout the day. I know it's difficult, but as human beings, as we've evolved and developed, that's just something that, especially this day and age, that's something that we all do. The pantry is so accessible that we all, you get hungry, you go get a muesli bar or whatever it is. We should be eating foods that are filling, satiating, meaning they keep us full for a longer period of time. And I think if we can all sort of work on getting our macros and diet correct and right, you should be eating large portions of food, staying in your caloric surplus or deficit, so you can still eat a lot of food and still be in that deficit to help lose weight if that's something you're wanting to do. But eating the right food so that we are staying full for a longer period of time, and that way you're not going to the pantry and snacking, and if you're feeling bored, you're just going to go and eat. That's something that everyone, including myself, needs to work on. That's something I really want to work on, because it's just unneeded calories. It's just wasting it. If you want to, and also eating more times throughout the day. Bumping your regular 4 to 5 times, which is pretty standard for most people. But bumping it up to like 6, 7, 8 times a day, it just doesn't give your digestive system a chance to relax and reset. It also affects things like your sleep if you're eating too late at night time, or if you're waking up in the morning and you're hungry, the first thing you think of is food. All that sort of stuff plays into that sort of factor. And that wraps up today's video. So I hope you guys could take something out of that. I don't care if it was the first point or the second or third or whatever it was. If it's just one of those things you can work on, that's awesome, that's great. If you're already doing all that stuff, you're an absolute legend. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to leave a like, hit subscribe on the channel. It does help a lot. And I'll see you all in the next one.